5 things that you can do to help you with success. So consider this kind of 5 hacks for mindset this week. I'm pretty excited to be sharing this. But before we get into the first one thing that I want to talk about when it comes to mindset or success and really understanding that how you want to achieve your goals and what you want to achieve in those goals, we have to understand, before we even get started on these mindset hacks, we have to understand our why. And that's really important. So many people forget about the why. They think, well, I just want to make a lot of money, or I just want to help a lot of people, or I want to quit my day job, or I really want to follow my passion. But we don't stop to think about what is our reason why. And it's so important. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what that reason is, but it's important to understand what it is. And so, and you really dig deep. There's something I talked about in the past, but the 7 reasons, the 7 layers of why. And it's going through and asking yourself the question, why do I want this? And do it 7 times. Why do I want to make a lot of money? Or maybe it's make 6 figures this year. And ask yourself why. And you go through this exercise 7 different times. And I'm not going to talk about that today, but I want you to understand it's really important that you understand what your why is on wanting to achieve success in whatever area of your life that is. Maybe it's in relationships, maybe it's in finances, maybe it's in physical health, maybe it's in your well-being. Whatever it might be, where do you want to see that success? And maybe it's all those areas. I know for me, there's a lot of different areas that I work on, including spirituality, my health and wellness, my finances, my relationships, and all those different things. But you want to look at wherever you're going to define what success looks like, understand what your reason why is. So, number 1 for our mindset hack is watch for absolute thinking. Black and white, all or nothing. I know I get stuck on that a lot, right? It's like I have to do it perfectly. We're not talking about perfection, but I have to do it this way. And that's absolute thinking. I'm not open to other ideas. It's yes or no. It's black or white. It's success or failure. And there's actually gray areas in all of those things. So you really want to look at that and understand if you're doing absolute thinking. I have to do it this way. Is that true or is it not true? Is there a gray area in there that you might be able to look at doing it a little differently? Maybe you're trying to come up with a new way and you're thinking, well, someone told me this, so I have to do it that way. That's absolute thinking. So I encourage you, don't necessarily get stuck in that rut. Well, if it's not this way, then it can't be done. And that's really what absolute thinking is all about. So we want to stay away from that. It doesn't mean that we live in the gray. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. I'm just saying we have to watch out for that absolute thinking. Yes, no, black, white, have to, get to. There's all these different ways and words that we associate with that black and white thinking, that absolute thinking. Is it on? Is it off? It's just another way to look at it. So I encourage you, when it comes to mindset hacks, be open to possibilities, but also open to the gray areas. I've succeeded a lot. I've failed even more times than I've succeeded. And if I get stuck on just listening and thinking about all of the failures, that's black and white thinking. Instead, we really want to think about options that are going on and really take those. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in our next one as well. But just understand that it doesn't have to be black and white. There can be a lot of gray areas. And what's really interesting is when we open ourselves up to those different things like that, we are then opening ourselves up to possibilities. Number 2 is really important. And I love it because I think about this a lot because as I just said, I've experienced success and I've also experienced a lot of failure. And what's interesting is number 2 is a setback does not equal a failure. You know, it just came to mind, one of the things that I went through years ago when I first got sober, I remember thinking about this because, as I've shared in my story, I spent 5.5 years trying to get sober. 5.5 years trying to put the bottle down, always going back to the bottle and relapsing. And interestingly enough, in those 5.5 years, I actually spent way more time drinking than I did sober. But I always looked at those as complete failures. And I thought of myself as a failure because I couldn't stay sober. And really, when I look back at that, it's just a setback. So a setback doesn't equal a failure. We don't want to take temporary and turn it into permanent. You know, again, when I look at that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I didn't succeed. I relapsed again and again and again and again. And all of a sudden, I started thinking of myself as not someone that couldn't stop. I really thought of myself as someone who could not drink, and that I had to. And that really wasn't true, as I can tell you today, because I've got 6.5 years going on 7 of sobriety. And so those were just truly setbacks, and that's all they are. And so we want to remember that a relapse into this behavior or the decisions or something like that, or we fall back, is not a collapse. It's just more reinforcement of things that maybe didn't work. Maybe we need to look at new things. And we have to understand that setbacks certainly do not mean that we're a failure. They are truly just that. They are a setback, and we have to look at them that way. We get to look at them that way, and we can learn from those setbacks. I don't even like the word necessarily failure, because to me, failure is kind of an absolute word again, right? When we're talking about absolute thinking before. And setback is more temporary, right? Oh, I just didn't reach it yet. I know my coach and I talk about this a lot when I'm working with him, and we talk about the goals, and we have, he knows my goals, and I have certain goals in different areas of my life, and I have times that I want to reach these goals in, right? And one of the things we talk about is, let's say one of my goals was to make X amount of dollars by June 30th of this year. Well, all of a sudden it's June 28th, I'm still not there. It's June 29th, I'm still not there. I'm June 30th, and I don't hit my goal. Does that mean I'm a failure? Does that mean that my goal was a failure? Or do I say that was a setback and just look at changing that date? Now, there's some things that maybe I can't change the date. So I've shared with you that I'm training for a marathon. Well, the marathon I'm training for is literally on July 4th. So that has a definite date. But if my training doesn't go quite right, or something happens, life happens, right, and where I can't make it, does that mean I'm a failure? Does that mean I failed at that goal? Absolutely not. It just means that something happened, it was a setback. And so what I can do then is find another race and I can run together. Yeah, I don't anticipate that happening, but it's just an example of how we want to look at setbacks versus failures. Number 3 in our mindset hacks is, it goes back to my sales days, and in sales we talked about what we focus on improves. And it's really true in all of our lives. What we focus on improves because we're giving it focus. Because we are looking at whatever area that is. Again, whether it's in your finances, in your relationships, in your health, your wellness, whatever it might be, what we focus on improves. And so it just brings it top of mind. Everybody's heard of that top of mind awareness, right? And so that's what we want to look at. And so we just understand that when we focus on it, it's going to improve. And think about it this way too. I know for me, I love to be rewarded. If I am reaching a goal, or if I'm doing something and I'm rewarded, even attaboys or pat on the backs, or anything like that really is positive reinforcement of me moving towards my goal, that just helps me move me towards my goal, right? Because it's encouraging, it keeps me going, it uplifts me, it gets me, it strengthens that desire to reach that goal. So again, what we focus on improves, and when we focus on it, we can see how we're moving the needle. And even again, if we're looking at no absolute thinking and we're looking at setbacks as not being equal to failures, we're going to be able to see the positive movement towards success. And we're going to focus on that. And I encourage you, reward yourself, even small little things, for doing a great job and moving the needle towards your goal. So think about really rewarding yourself more. And also others, your loved ones, your friends, your peers. think about how much that means to us and reward them and punish less. I know I have to do that. I punish myself in my head way more than I should, but not as much as I used to. So that's, again, I'm rewarding myself and telling myself that so that I see that there is progress, right? And so focusing on that success and even small little milestones is going to continue to propel you forward. So again, focus on what we focus on improves, which is absolutely amazing. Even if we're looking at how we can get better and maybe we had a setback, we can focus on that and we can improve the situation for the next time it happens, or maybe it doesn't happen, but prepares us for something like that that may happen in the future. So again, focusing on those positives, focusing on those wins, focusing on those successes only reinforces the actions that we take on a regular basis towards achieving success, towards achieving our goals. On to number 4, it's intention with attention. So some of you know that I have my 6-step acrostic, right? That I work with people and I coach people through this 6-step process of true success attainment and reaching your goals. And it's a 6-step process, and it's an acrostic for bow tie. Well, the I in the letter bow tie, and what it really means is intentionality and living with intention and being intentional in what we do. So number 4 with our mindset hack is intention with attention. So it's really putting attention on our intentions, right? So what we do there is we start looking at and really understanding what are the things that we have going on or that we're doing that are working. What are the things that maybe we can get rid of? What are the things that we're missing that we can look at adding? What are those things that we should probably get rid of, or maybe not get rid of, but maybe change a little bit? Again, we're putting our attention now on our intentions. And one of the things that I talk about that is going into my book is my aha moments, which is really similar to this. Again, an aha moment for me is awareness heightens awareness. And that's really the same thing when it comes to my attention being on my intentions. So how am I, and I'm really looking at myself and I'm looking at, okay, what am I doing today? What am I doing right now to move the needle towards success? Doesn't mean you always have to be, because I get it that, life happens, but are we putting our attention on our intentions? And are we paying attention to those things that we are doing, that we are thinking, that we are reacting to, responding to? Are we really putting that attention on our intentions? I believe it's extremely important to live intentionally. And that means really being aware, consciously aware of the things that I'm saying, the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm thinking. That's a big one for me. And that just helps me to make sure that my attention is being focused on my intention. Number 5 is we just don't take enough action. People are like, well, I just don't know what to do. Well, I talked to you guys in one of my videos I did about not making a decision is actually making a decision. So when we don't take action, we're actually hindering ourselves from reaching our goals. And I believe that we all get stuck in this because it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of intention, it takes a lot of work to have a lot of action. But I want to encourage you to take that action. And when we take action, we get that ball rolling, right? It's just like the old analogy of it seems like we're always pushing the boulder up the mountain, right? And we're working hard, we're taking action, we're taking more action, we're taking more action. And all it feels like is we're just keep going up this mountain. Well, the mountain eventually peaks. And so the same thing happens with our action. And we continually, this one is actually hitting me hard right now too, which is awesome. I mean, I love that. And that's what I love about doing this and sharing these with you, because it gets me to think. It gets me to think about the next actions that I can take, because I know that the top of the mountain is coming, and it's going to come, but I have to continually take action. I have to find out, put my intention on it, and then go out and just do it. And sometimes it's hard. I get that. Some days, man, I'm just beat. I'm tired. I had a busy day. I had a busy week. I could have all the excuses in the world. And believe me, I can have them. But I have to take that action. And I have to take the next step. And it doesn't have to be a giant step. Maybe it's a small one. Maybe it's just making that one extra phone call. Maybe it's sending that one extra email. Maybe it's spending another 5 minutes in meditation, because that is action. Don't forget that. But whatever it is, take more action. Figure out what it is that you want, put your intentions out there, and then go after it with action. And when I say action, it's consistent action. It's day in, it's day out, always taking the next action, the next step. And again, it doesn't have to be giant, it can be small. And what I think you'll see is, as you consistently take action, you're going to find, number one, it's easier. Number two, you're going to reach your goals faster because you're taking that action. And number three is, you're going to be in a better frame of mind and have a better mindset about reaching your goals, because you know you're doing the things that are necessary to be successful. So I encourage you, again, the 5 mindset hacks for this week. Number 1, watch for absolute thinking. That black, white, yes, no, on, off thinking. Just watch for it. Doesn't mean it has to go away. Just know that when you're in that thinking and you're making those decisions, yes or no, to really watch for that and make sure that it's not for the wrong reason. Number 2, setback does not equal failure. It is literally just that. Do not make a setback permanent. It is always just temporary. Number 3 is what we focus on improves. Focus on the positive. Focus on the wins. Focus on those things that you are doing that are moving the needle, and then reward yourself. Because we all are people that we grow by those rewards. We seek that. We seek that validation. I don't like that word necessarily, but when it comes as a reward for ourselves and the action that we're taking, we are going to focus on that, and it will continually improve and continually improve and continually improve. And then number 4 is having attention on our intentions. And so again, that's just raising the awareness, raising our conscious awareness of what it is we're trying to accomplish and what it is that success looks like. And number 5 is take action, and continually take action. So those are the 5 mindset hacks for this week. And the one thing that I started with that I want to end and just remind everybody that's very important when it comes to success, know your reason why. Why is it important for you to get a promotion at work? Why is it important for you to have a healthy relationship with someone that you love? Why is it important for you to have your finances in check? Why is it important for you to have X amount of dollars in the bank or start your own business? Whatever it is, whatever success in whatever area you want to see success in, ask yourself, why is that important? And then go through the exercise and ask yourself 7 times. Each time, digging deeper, peeling that onion, digging deeper, peeling that onion of understanding your why. Because when you get to your true why, it will motivate you each and every day, and you'll be able to achieve that success that you've always wanted. And you're going to get there and realize, wow, I sold myself short because there's so much more. And that, folks, is when it gets really exciting. When you reach those goals and all of a sudden you realize, holy cow, there's more. And then you get even more excited and you start doing this all over again, but with bigger goals and bigger ideas of what success looks like. You guys are amazing. If you ever have any questions, please reach out. It's Will the Bowtie Sober Guy. Peace. out.